Hello, moms and dads. I hope everybody's doing okay. I hope everyone is dealing with this quarantine, with this stay-at-home order in the best possible way. In the meantime, while all of this is happening in the world, we still have to deal with our young children. And our young children are not going to stop needing stimulation, and they're not going to stop needing us to provide that for them just because we're home. So if you especially, this is for everybody, but especially if you are receiving early intervention services and for whatever reason your services have stopped, we need to go over some key concepts for you to make sure that you implement at home. It doesn't take a long time and it doesn't take a lot for you to do this. I'm going to demonstrate this with one toy. So what I wanted to talk to you about in this video is basically what kinds of stimulation your baby needs to learn about the world. So we're going to talk about three specific ones. We're going to talk about visual stimulation, so anything that comes through the eyes, auditory stimulation, anything that comes through the ears, and tactile, anything that we touch, okay? So it's not enough for our children, for ourselves, in perspective, not even for us, to be able to see. Because yes, our eyes can see, but it is our brain that's doing the seeing. It's not enough for our ears to be able to hear, because it's really our brains that brain is doing the hearing in itself. So what do we need to do to make sure that we stimulate visual, anything that comes through our eyes, so that our brain gets stimulated to see, stimulate our ears so that our brain gets stimulated to hear, and our tactile input so that our brain knows that we're touching things. When we touch things, yes, it comes through the skin, but it's a signal that's sent all the way up to the brain, and the brain is what's telling us what we're touching, okay? So let's remember visual, auditory, and tactile. I have a great toy that I think, let me see, this is a Fisher-Price. And it's a ball, basically. But what it is like, it's a lot of visual stimulation. This is great for a young child, younger than one. But you could use it with older children that are still working on those issues or in those skills. If your child is 1, 2, 3, they're still working on visual, auditory, and tactile, by all means, use something like this. This is perfect. You see the visual input from this toy. So this is something that your baby is going to look at and is going to be drawn to look at this, and might even do something like this, which will also stimulate other skills, just to look at the sun or look at the rainbow and the clouds. It also has a sound. You see the little balls in the bottom? So that is not only visual, but I don't know if you can hear that sound. That's also very important, because as they're moving it around and looking at it, they're also hearing it. And as long as your ears are kept hearing and not just, left to their own devices, then we'll stimulate the hearing for our brain to be able to hear. And of course, the touching. And this is great. I love balls because you can always place your two hands around it. This one has a little bit of a design. There are other balls and other things. I'm going to show you one I have here. This little toy I love because it's crinkly when you touch it. And it's very, very soft, so it really stimulates the tactile sense. So anything about, I was just talking to a mom and I was saying even just give your child a blanket so that they can grab it and manipulate it and feel the softness. Anything that stimulates these senses will ensure that the brain part of it all is working and is developing and is getting stimulated. The most important thing is to stimulate your children. I know it's very, very hard, and I know a lot of you are working remotely, and it's hard to make sure that all these things are in place. But it's important that, instead of just having your child sit or just having them in a high chair, give them a ball, give them a toy, give them something that they can manipulate, and at the same time as you're working, they can also work on their senses and their brain and their cognitive development. I will keep you posted, and we will be talking a lot more about this in the next few videos. Bye.